Let's dive into the discussions shaping the nation.
Thanks a lot, Chair. Minister, I'm sure you have been inundated, like I have, probably more so than me, with emails from worried Leaving Cert students, parents and teachers about the totally unfair disadvantage that this year's students will be put at due to the government's grade deflation proposals. This is not just a question of next year or the year after, it's something that will have an impact on young people for the rest of their lives. An email from one worried parent puts the problem very well. The students between 2020 to 2024 have a massive advantage over any other Leaving Cert students they compete against. In 2024, average grade inflation was 7.5%. In 2025, it will be lowered to 5.5%. Thus, the class of 2025 will get approximately 15 or 16 points less than last year. This year, there was an unprecedented number of CAO applicants from previous years, 1 in 4. So 25% of this year's CAO applicants have a huge advantage over the 75% of Leaving Cert students sitting the exams in June 2025. Students from this year will miss out on places that they should be offered if the department does not address this urgently. That finishes the quote. But Minister, I can't understand how you are going to stand over this unfairness, how you can't see the problem that is here and many of the potential solutions that are being suggested that will not unfairly disadvantage anyone. It is obviously unfair for this year's students to be marked harder than last year's, but it's also unfair if students from previous years who were told they got a certain number of points are now to have those points reduced, especially when they were warned that this could happen. They were never warned that this could happen. So I want to propose a more radical solution, which is the same radical solution that we have been proposing since the start of the COVID crisis, that there be open access to university for all. On the radio last week, the Minister said that 80 to 90% of students get their top choice. Would it be so onerous to invest so that all of them get it?
I suppose it gives me an opportunity to outline the issue from the department side. It is under the remit of the Senior Minister, Minister McEntee, in relation to this, but I'm very conscious of the Leaving Cert and that it can be a very stressful time for students and their families. These include the stress of the examination themselves and the decision for students in determining their pathways into work or into continuing education. Following the implementation of the calculated grades in 2020 and the dual approach of the examinations and the accredited grades in 2021, two types of intervention had been implemented in recent years: the adjustment to the examination and the assessment arrangements and the post-marking adjustments to outcomes. The first of these, the adjustment to the assessment arrangements, assisted students by leaving intact the familiar overall structure of the examination while incorporating additional choice for students. In some cases, the adjustment measures provide more time for tuition by, for example, reducing preparation work for practical examinations. The adjustments to the assessment arrangements have been applied in recent years and will continue to apply in the 2025 Leaving Cert year. The second intervention, the post-marking adjustments, have ensured that the results in the aggregate have remained the same as on average since 2021. Aggregated grades rose significantly in 2020 by 4.4 percentage points and by a further 2.6 percentage points in 2021. As is widely recognised, we must return towards pre-pandemic levels. In April 2024, it was announced by the then Minister for Education that this would be done gradually in line with the commitment that there will be no cliff edge in overall results. In the 2025, the State Examinations Commission, the SEC, will again apply a post-marking adjustment after all markings are completed. This will bring results in the aggregate to the point broadly midway between 2020 and 2021 levels. Results in the aggregate in 2025 are expected to be above the 2019 levels by at least 5.5 percentage points on average. This return being done on a gradual way in order to minimise the impact on students so far as is possible. The CEO system is distinct from operations and accreditations of the Leaving Cert by the State Examination Commission, and access to higher education is a matter for the Department of Further Education, Higher Education, Research, Innovation and Science. My department is working closely with the Department of Further and Higher Education, which has emphasised it is strongly committed to supporting students, as evidenced in the creation of additional places in a number of high-demand courses over the past number of years. These additional places have been created in medicine, nursing, pharmacy and the therapy disciplines, amongst others, and I have been advised that further additionality is in place for 2025, including a new programme in dentistry. The Department have also been advised that the proportion of higher education entrants who complete their Leaving Cert the previous year is typical to around 13%, and that there are no indications at this time that the proportion of students applying with pre-2025 Leaving Cert results vary significantly this year compared to previous years.
Thanks. I mean, does the Minister accept that there is an unfairness here, that there are students who this year, with a given set of results, will not achieve a college place that they would have achieved last year or the year before, whatever, that there is a fundamental unfairness here? I accept that within this artificial scarcity, effectively fake market that is being created of the point system, that it's difficult to have solutions that don't unfairly disadvantage someone. But that entirely gets to the point, which is the problem is a lack of investment in our third level system. We have a much lower percentage of GDP on third level than other EU countries, and then this artificial scarcity. The whole points system has created a lucrative industry of grinds, of private schools, systematically enshrining inequality in our education. The answer is to have open access to university, let everyone into university, like we let everyone into secondary school and primary school.
And I understand the concerns. I suppose there's a number of issues, right? In relation to the therapies, there are additional places being provided in higher education for therapies, and that's a commitment in the programme for government, and as an acknowledgement as well of the huge shortage that's out there within the state. So in my previous reply, I did state that. I think as well, in any discussions that we have in relation to the Leaving Cert, we have to acknowledge that the State Examinations Commission has done an excellent job, that the Leaving Cert over the decades in relation to how it has been run by the department, by the state, has stood the test of time in relation to any challenges to it. It has stood the test of time. Yes, there are issues in relation to how we are going to get back to where we were pre-pandemic. One of the issues that is overhanging, and there's a gradual reduction, gradual to get back to where we were in pre-pandemic. It's important that we ensure that everybody is catered for. And, I think the Deputy would accept that many people have benefited from the Here and There programme and have excelled in their field when they went on to third level education. And, we all would have families that would have come to us in relation to making sure that they could get on those programmes. I think it's important that we do reflect on that and make sure that that is taken into account as well in relation to how we gradually get back to a pre-pandemic level in relation to the education system. But I think it's important as well that we do have to stand up for the Leaving Cert. Yes, there were significant challenges, particularly in the Leaving Cert, and there's been significant challenges over the last number of years because a lot of them didn't do the Junior Cert as well because of the way the school, we had to deal with the pandemic. So it's important that we do. I take the points that are raised, but I do believe that we are working correctly and that the information that we have been given is correct in relation to gradually getting back to the pre-pandemic level in relation to the Leaving Cert.
Like, share, and subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.